Huckleberry's Adventures back again. Not necessarily with an Onyx for Dummies, but now that you dummies kind of looked at the first video for Onyx and kind of, I don't know, have a basic understanding of what's going on here, let's get into some of the other shit that's here. So, we're going to go into, first we're going to do offline maps. So, offline maps, new to old, and I don't have to explain that stuff to you that much. But let's say that we are going to the UP here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where if you've never been here and you have Verizon, you will not have service. So, knowing that you're not going to have service and you're going to, let's say, go and do the Haywire Grade Trail. How about that? This one right here. We're going to do that one. So, as I said before, you have the 11 miles. It tells you all about it. You got trail reports. You have all the cool pictures that the trail guides put on there, as I again mentioned before. So you know you're going to be coming through here. You know you're not going to have service, which means if you get stuck on one of the roads over here, you're not going to, you know, and you get turned around. Maybe you don't have satellite. Maybe you don't have service, and maybe you get lost. So what Onyx will let you do is go into your offline maps. You just click on offline maps. You go to new offline map right down here. All right, and then you're going to select your imagery detail. You're going to name it. Let's just say we'll do FS. What is that? 2253. And well, how much detail do I actually want to put it in? I typically do the highest. I don't really care about the size. So I have it 7.4 miles by 5.7. And let's say if I'm going to do most of 2253, so we'll start at any surrounding maps right here. We'll drag it with our left hand clicker, and let's say I could see where I'm ending 22, right half where 2253 meets to 2252. We'll save it. And it says right here, FS 2253 area was created and saved to your account. Okay, got it. So, and then you can see this little green rectangle, and that's showing you that that's an offline map that I've saved. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do another one. Hi, 2253 again. And I'm going to drag this. You can see where your green one's at already. And I just want to get the rest of 2253 in the surrounding area so that I know. I'm going to overlap these just a little bit because you obviously don't want to have them not. But that way, so I know that if I get off track a little bit, I have a little bit of give. So we're going to go back. We're going to do high detail, 2253 for map name. We'll just do 2253 east. We'll save it. Boom, saved. Got it. So now I can go back and I can go and look at these offline maps at any point when I don't have service, and it'll still give me the full detail that I will need to help kind of navigate myself out of it. And if you can't navigate yourself out of it, I don't know what to tell you. That's kind of on you at that point. So that's pretty cool. And that's a really good thing that if you know you're going into an area that is restricted service, and you have no way of, being able to get your maps and stuff out, that'd be a good way to do it. So then you can go to, let's say, my content. So again, you could track and make routes. So as you can see here, I have some 18 tracks. I have 206 waypoints, and we can do a lot of tracks here. Let's see. Filter as map moves. We'll turn that off. And let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm trying to think of how. Let's see. Content. So we'll go to the vacation, the big one. So now you could choose and look at tracks that you've done. So let's say I start off at home down here. And what it does is it tracks throughout your progress. And then by the time you're done, you can click on it. So I have these broke down into 3. And I made these routes before I left so I could kind of, I don't know, try and hit all the cool that I wanted to hit. So I have vacation route 1 to Grand Marias. I have a distance, so I kind of know how long it's going to take me. And that goes from 341 miles. So as you can see here, I have some stops that I had on the ways because I was looking for potential campgrounds. And then we ended at Grand Marias, and or this area. And then we go to vacation part 2, which was 203 miles. And again, that's bringing me towards some of the stuff. And I moved the route, and I'll show you how you can kind of do that. I moved the route to do things that I wanted to do. So as you can see, I kind of went back and forth. We tried to do some of these out here. And then back up a little bit here, zoom out. And then get down to this one here. And I have vacation final stretch of 500 miles of driving, and this is just, I think, in like 4 days, something like that. So I do kind of like an expedition style when I do it. And how I describe like an expedition style is that you start from your one point, you drive, I don't know, a couple 100 miles till you get to your destination, you camp for 1 night, pack it all up, and then you go to your next one. So like I had my first 3 stretches, those are days basically. So I'm doing my first day here. I'm going all the way up here. I'm doing this 341 miles in the day, and we're hitting stops on the way. Of course, we're doing like we're St. Ignace gas station. I have a kid, so we're stopping a couple times here, and I try to factor that into the route so that I know that I have the right time. So 341 miles. That's going to take us a couple hours. I think it's like 4 or 5 hours to get up there. And then we're going to start looking for a camp spot. And this is around Labor Day, so I knew it was going to be hard. So I wanted to make sure I had some camp spots scouted out. So I had these, couple here, like Superior Campground. I had the end of a trail over here. We ended up going down to Blind Sucker over here too. So that was the first night. Then we pack it up after first night and we start moving on the second night. So this is second night here, vacation part 2, 203 miles. This was a short day so that we could kind of relax. I planned it out because I knew we were going to be doing some hiking and some waterfalls and some sightseeing, and I wanted to kind of be able to do that and have time. So again, like I said, plan that into your route. And so we obviously went up to like Chapel Beach and stuff. We hiked that up a little bit, and we took our time on that. We came back out and just looked for another campground, and that's kind of how the expedition style for me, how I would explain that works. There's a couple different styles. I mean, like I said, you could drive and drive and drive until the end of the night, 9 p.m. Pick the first campsite you could find off of state land that's dispersed or something. I mean, go up, do it again, and keep doing that. That's kind of the same thing. But because I have different activities planned out too for the family, it's not quite the same, but that's just how I would explain expedition type overlanding. And then there's like base camp style overlanding, which people would arguably say that's not overlanding. But take your trailer with you or have a large amount of stuff in your vehicle. You set up at one campground. Let's say you want to set up around here and just do these massive amounts of forest roads and shit up here. So let's say you set up at West Branch State Forest Campground or someone near here if you're dispersed camping. You ditch all your base camp, your tent, sleeping, all your main stuff that you're not going to need while you're on trail. Lightens your load, makes it a little easier to travel. And then you go and do these for 3 days, 4 days. I don't know that I would technically say that was overlanding. To me, that just seems like camping with a side of off-roading. But you know, I'm not the one to sit here and define all this. So if you want to, then you can. I call that base camp overlanding. I call the other one expedition overlanding. Obviously, some people don't even believe that my style of expedition overlanding is even overlanding. They think overlanding is like for multiple days at a time. You know, I'm doing this on a budget. You know, just like you guys, I'm doing it on the weekend. I'm doing it on 4-day weeks when I can get off. I'm doing it on 5 days if I can get it off and I have the money. So to me, doing it for 3 days and then throwing out 500 to 1,000 some miles in a couple of days, that would be overlanding to me. So like I said, I'm not here to define it. I'm just here to kind of help you, help you learn a little bit more about Onyx. And that's how I kind of plan my routes out. So like I said, you get your 2nd day, 3rd day, and then I think I have a 4th day, which is just bringing the last swing in. Because I think by the time I got back down across the bridge, I was pretty zonked. And then, yeah, we ended up staying in Sheboygan. I actually took a hotel that night, which is totally fine. Sometimes you kind of need it. And it was refreshing. And, you know, lake showers aren't as, you know, sometimes it's nice to just get a regular hot shower and be able to relax in a bed. The last 2 days were just soaking cold rain, and it was awesome. So the route stuff's pretty cool. And if you're looking to plan your own route and you want to do, we'll go back. Let's say we'll do here, and let's go and exit out of vacation stretch. We'll go back to my content. Actually, let's exit out of that as well. And we will go to build route right here. So we'll click on that. And this is Route Builder. You have obviously your colors, much like the waypoints. You have your different colors, styles, weights, notes, folders. And you could do a snap to, which kind of, like if you were to start here and click that there, it tries, I believe, if I'm right, there's 1 and 2. There you go. So it'll snap to the closest forest area trail if it can get you there. And if you don't want to add anything else, and as this is just your route that you want to do, then you'd say, okay, we're going to call this test route. Hey, I spelled that right. Figured I'd have like some dyslexia on that. Yeah, so we have test route. It tells you how long it's going to be. It tells you your elevation gain. So this is relatively not much. We'll save it. And then you have a route. So then when you come in from Munising here and you start your route, you can actually navigate your way through there. So you have your route already planned. You know which roads that you need to take. I don't use this a ton because I kind of like the idea of the adventure. But it's definitely useful when you're doing these longer ones and you're trying to get certain areas. And let's say if I was to build a route and I wanted to start here, and let's say I'm trying to see if I can find any other routes I have out there, and not much. We'll do hold your left mouse to move around. Let's see. Let's just go down to Murphy's Creek, Thunder Lake. And we're just gonna click on that. It's a 15-mile trip. Cool, let's save that. And then, so now I know how I'm going to take it. This is the most efficient way that they're saying that I can take it. Looks like they have some road, and you can change that. So we'll click on that. Let's edit. Whoa. Okay, yes, edit. And then you can actually zoom in here. Say, I don't really want to click that. So what I'm going to do is find out where it goes onto the main road. Click right here. I'm going to move the route. See? So I just moved the route now, and then it brought it back onto the road here. Let's see if I can move the route this way. So now I've moved the route. I'm mainly off the road here. I'm on trails, and it did what I wanted it to. Cool beans. Let's save it up. And then I have my route. That's cool. Now what do I want to know about my route? Let's hide it real quick. And we'll look at the truck trail. That's not marked, so I'm not going to see much on that, as I showed you guys on the last trip. And let's try this one here. Let's see if we got anything on here. Oh yeah. So that gives me an idea of some of the terrain that I might be working with over here in this area. How about this one? Pretty interesting. Nothing too crazy. This looks like it was a wetter part of the year or after the rain. Nothing bad at all. So I'm not too stressed about it. I could definitely do that in an hour or so, maybe 2 hours, just depend going, you know. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. And boom, you got a route done. And if you don't know where your route's at and you want to see it, we're going to go back to my content, down to routes. And we're going to unhide that route. Excuse me. And if you want to open the menu, you can share routes. You can hide it on map again. Unhide it. And if you want to see all your tracks, you can click on tracks. And tracks are the ones that you were doing yourself. That you have started your track, at the beginning of your trip or at the beginning of your trail and stopping it. So let's say I add this back on, these guys. And why would I want to do that? Why would I want to add all these back on? And my thing is that if I've done it once or I've done it a couple times, I don't want to keep going over the same one. So for instance, right here, I have done this area quite a few times down here through the tank trail. You can see that I've done this main one through Grayling Hills. I have one here where I go through Fife Lake. So you can see where I've already traveled, and that's basically the gist of why that you would want to have all your layers on, just for a reference of all your, or not your layers, your routes, but your layers of routes. And so you can kind of come in here and go, hey, I have worked this trail systems around here pretty well over. If I come back, I now know that I can hit these here. So 25.25, Soper Creek, number 12 Bumpy Trail, or maybe I'm going to want to move on to hit somewhere else, like this clump here. So this clump here, if you watch my other video, you can see that these are all yellow. And I'll let you know now that if you watch my other video, you now know that yellow is an unscouted, dispersed camping spot that I found on here while just looking for spots to maybe camp, and marked them. So now I have this whole area here that I could take a look at, take a weekend or something, come up here and drive all these main trails, see what's good on them, see what's bad, scout these sites out and see if I can find anything. I think I have some up here. Yep. Near some lake areas. And just like I showed you before, if you want to see what they look like in the other time of year, it's never perfect, but you might get something. You copy and paste your coordinates on Google, and there you go. So now you have a different part of the year. You can now confirm that this is a cleared site. You can kind of see this ways in. You can also see other little 2-track trails that might take you to a place that you might want to go. Like right here, you can kind of see how it brings you close to a river. And maybe that means there's some river access around here somewhere. So using Gaia in conjunction with Google's older satellite picture can come in handy for doing that. Just a reminder. So as you can see, I think this one is right here. Wallen Road Part 3. Let's check this out. As you know, you can come in here and check out the trail. Doesn't look serious at all, which means that it would be perfectly fine for most two-wheel drive vehicles. Not to say it won't be bumpy or maybe a little kooky, but it's fine for most. You shouldn't break anything, you know, as long as you're driving responsibly. So that's pretty cool. You have your offline maps. I showed you a little bit about making routes. You already know about your waypoints. I can hide all of them too. That's not a big deal. I just like to have them. I like to have them out. I mean, you have, you know, all your lines if you're creating any lines for like measuring or anything, or general areas. And then you have off-road stats. So let's see. See if they load up my stats. Tell me what I did. So total track distance from 2024, I did 3,949 miles. Did 16 tracks, 205 waypoints I made this year. I have 14 offline maps, 5 shares. I taught 5 waypoint types. We got Barry, my vehicle that I've added in my garage. As you can see right here, you have a garage. And then some of the pictures that I've taken that I've added to campsites. As you can see here. This one here, one of my all-time favorite campsites. I won't necessarily show you where that's at because I don't want oversaturation on it. But if you message me privately, maybe we'll talk. But I don't want it to be known on like a public server like this, I guess. So you can go to your garage, you can add your vehicle. I have a 2007 FJ Cruiser, 4x4, and the types of trail width. It says full width roads, but I can go in here and I can change any of this. High clearance, I can do 60, and I could add any kinds of photos or anything like that onto there. You know, so obviously now it's changed, so I can do any. Not too worried about that. And yeah, so here's it's a little bit more of a in-depth overview here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure that if you're in the area, you always go and look and discover some new ones, some new trails. You might find something you like. Hey, maybe you want some puddles or some bumps, or I mean, I'm not saying Michigan's boring. I'm just saying, you know, it's all pretty close to the same, man. And I guess let's find a cool trail for the last trail. For the last couple minutes, let's get ourselves a cool little trail. How about we'll go to Copper Harbor? If no one's ever been to Copper Harbor, that's some pretty cool stuff up there. We got a blue, that's a moderate. North Point to Rocket Range, so that's a 3-mile, 45-minute, point to point. Best time, spring, summer, fall, accessible by all vehicles. And you have some nice ruddy, nice bumpy, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. How about this one? Yeah, Rocket Range. Let's check this out. Oh, we got some cool stuff to see there. Yeah, looks like there's some off-camber situations, some rock. How about Keystone Cut? Oh, look at that. That's pretty interesting. Got all sorts of cool little things here. Looks like there's some beach access. Everybody knows that you should not be driving in the water, but sometimes there are some areas where you can go onto the beach. And then if you guys have never been to it, I guess I should show you that, at least. That's good old Drummond Island. So we got, let's see what we got. We'll do Marblehead. Marblehead, you see this? This is our hard, difficult trail in Michigan, I think. It's absolutely great. He has some pretty cool trails here. It gets pretty deep. Gets to some beach areas. Let's see here. Yeah, look at that. So there's still some cool stuff in Michigan. Don't you worry. Let's see, we got Tight and Twisty. I heard about this one. I had a friend that just got out of this and sunk the shit out of her Toyota. There you go. Yep, that's about right. And those kind of muddy hills like that, you don't stand a chance, man. Unless you got like mud tires and you're running 40s. If you're an overlanding Toyota, I'm not saying we're not meant to do it, but we're not meant to do it. So you got some rock shelves up here. You got Marblehead and stuff, which is supposed to be, climbs like that. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool. Let's see, we got Moo's Nemesis. I've heard of that one too. Let's see. See what we got here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty steep. Pretty tight Rockies and stuff there. Love it. So yeah, man, that's part of it. Part of the fun. So thanks for watching. Maybe go to Moo's Nemesis, Half Irish Hill, and we'll talk to you later.